we're very good. The frequency is not in 84 PEW, and that control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. There is no emergency traffic. If there was, it would already be on here. Call 911. Just do us that first. If you don't get a response from them, even if you do get a response from them, you can talk to us. We'll talk you down. Talk you down from the cliff. For information on this net, you can see this right now. You can see my radio anyway, the surface of my radio, the face of it, to see what your signal looks like. And you can hear other stations as well on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, put the search block on their search block, put my call, K4PEW. It'll bring up that channel, and it should bring up a premiere, it's called. And you can just click on that, and it'll say live. I'm pretty sure it says live. Pretty sure I'm live. But yeah, you click on it, you can do all that. You can also go to our website, 146415.net. You can also go to our groups site to get emails if you want to get on the email system and the reminder system for nets and ham fests and other related ham equipment or ham issues. And you can also ask technical questions or seek help from the gurus of ham radio that we find here in our system. We've got about 200 people on that net, by the way, in Middle Tennessee. Or you can send me an email, not one of the gurus, here at K4PEW at ARRL.net. Net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. Yeah, Wednesday and Saturday night. I didn't think about that. This week we operate, as always, on 146.415.net, but we're also doing the nets on, where are we going? Oh, yeah, 28.415 as well as 223.415 FM, and 28.415 is upper sideband. There's also a sideband net Sunday night. 10-meter sideband, that's YRF. It's at 7:30 p.m. Sundays. Don't forget, be there, or you'll be terminated by somebody. Anyway, he even gives prizes for attendance. So I would go 7:30 p.m. Sunday nights, 28.415. Purpose of that is to have fun, figure out who you can hear, who you can't hear, and hopefully you have the money to spend to improve your shack in some way. Usually it's just through an antenna, higher and higher, and a better antenna just as high. It's all in antennas, really. You could have, I proved that several years ago with my antenna. I put up a nice antenna, same one I have now, and I hooked up my 1/4 watt HT to it, and I could be heard for upwards of, I don't know, 15, 20 miles. So it's kind of neat. But I also have the elevation. Again, height, elevation is king. So we move on. Invite everyone. Activities. We have two that are coming up. One is Saturday is the Cave City Ham Fest. I sent out a reminder. That's in, I think it's in Cave City. And then the other one is in Tullahoma. And I'm pretty sure that one's in Tullahoma. That's the following Saturday. So if you're intending to go to 2 ham fests in a 1 week period, do check with your XYL, or you may get terminated by them. Also, make sure you get pre-approval on your credit card from the XYL. Is there any other announcements? Nothing heard. See, I covered all of that. This is our mini Cavalcade of Nets. We only have 3 tonight. Let's see, is that all I have? I think so. That's all I have for tonight. Those 3 nets, those two ham fests, those 3 nets, and this is net number 878. We're starting from the west. And if you can't hear me, if you're a little bit lower than normal, it's because I'm on my alternative antenna. There's something wrong with my X700. I think it got whipped around in the rain and wind the other day. At any rate, I got to tear it down tomorrow or Friday or whatever. More work. I don't need to do work. I'm retired. I need a technician. That's what I need. Anyway, starting from the west, but we're taking short on time and mobile stations now. How about the other way around? Mobile stations and people are short on time. All righty, then we're going to start taking check-ins from the west. Please come now.
KM4 YRF, and I'm short on mobile time.
Oh my gosh. What's wrong with Rick, man? Can't he keep it up over there?
Yeah, they're having a storm there, and he's having probably cold.
Everything going all right?
Yeah, everything's going good. I got my 220 radio, or the coax fixed, and I was full scale to Jack, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, you don't know Jack, you know that?
I do know Jack.
I know, that's great. I'm glad you were full scale. Well, you're not that far, but I'm glad you. I did. You know, we had a check in the other day. We were just messing around, and I caught somebody. Oh boy, might be some lighting right there. I didn't say thunder. I didn't see the light right here over my head, I think. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, and I'll think of his name in a second. Up in Pleasant View, I check in on 220 the other day when he was just checking out his radio. I could hear him just fine from Pleasant View.
My part is called Jack.
Very good. Yeah, hey Jack, what's up? I like that. That's kind of like a general reference to just about anybody, isn't it?
You're just taking my name in vain.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a great name, by the way. Just think of all the great people named Jack in history.
Thanks. I guess I should say KG4ILV.
Yeah, very good. All right. Anything else from that, Michael, or information from Rick?
No. We need to check Rick in, I guess, by relay, and don't forget to listen for me on 220.
Oh, I can't forget to listen. I just have to. Anyway, in fact, I'll be listening on this antenna. I have to switch it over because it's hooked up to the wrong. I got this radio, my radio, regular radio, hooked up to the 220 tri-band antenna. So that's why it might be a little different to some of you. Anyway, who else is west? I guess I'll take in Jack, KG4ILV. What's up, Jack?
Not much, just trying to avoid the lightning here.
Did you hear that thunderclap from here?
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one. Anything good for the net?
No traffic.
All right, very good. Maybe people call this the no traffic net.
Well, if I had something to talk about, I'd surely tell you.
Oh, no, I know. I'm not you. I'm just saying we really don't have traffic. We just have rag chew, minor rag chew net.
Well, it's always good.
Oh, no, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. It gives, again, I'm reminded again this week, for some reason, that everybody who checks in, especially the regulars and others as well, is that we give all other hams who are either listening or just trying to figure out how well their antennas work, gives them, they're I want to say calibrating their systems. They may adjusting the system and say, how come I can't hear Jack and I'm over here in Lebanon, or I can't hear Philip who's and I'm over here in the West Nashville. You know what I'm saying? It gives everybody a chance because we're like a test bed of what's good and what's bad. It's funny because we're a test bed for our Cavalcade of Nets, so it drives them crazy.
Well, I'm interested to see who can hear Michael tonight.
Oh, very good. Me too. Anyway, that was Jack. Kilo Go 4 ILV. That's no traffic Jack, by the way. And who else? Yeah, that was a good one. Right on the money right there. Short. Who else is west?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Okay, how about traffic? Greg?
Hey, who?
Oh, you got to have traffic. You have to have traffic net.
Okay, no, but I heard a car just pass by. That's what you mean, but I did hear that thunderclap took a few seconds, but not too long, and I heard it.
Oh, it was a big one. I don't know where it was exactly, but it was big.
Radar shows downtown Nashville getting it, and then it looks like Lebanon. But I'm thinking the one probably Nashville. The bad spot that we produce this one.
Yeah, very good. So anything else for that? You're going to be on 220 for sure. I know tonight.
I'm there all the time.
Loaded for bear.
Absolutely.
All right, Greg. We'll catch you later. That was Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo, and he's an anyhow. Who else is west? It's to the south. Everybody unplugged their radios, I can tell. Who else is east?
BA4ZHI. Yankee Victor.
All right, very good. I got two in there, but I get James first. James, I know you heard that thunderclap.
Yeah, I heard it about a second after you said it.
Oh, I know. Very good. So you're just going to stay. We're going to stay inside for tonight anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do anything outside in the car or anything.
No, I'd rather stay inside than a lightning storm. I lived with lightning all through the summers in Florida. I got used to it, but it's still dangerous, very dangerous. And I knew a kid who got killed by lightning.
I don't like this band or anything. Is it raining up there? I haven't gone out there.
No, I don't. I haven't even looked out the window. I can't tell, and I got my shades closed, so I can't see what's going on out there. Even if it was, there's no light on that side of the house. So anyway, anything else for the net, James?
No, I'm just staying inside, playing around.
Very good. So your antenna's inside, so you really can't. You're not in trouble during lightning.
That's right.
Oh, it definitely is. Anyway, that's James with the Inside Antenna Man, Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. He's right here in Mount Juliet. I hear you in there, Larry. How's it going? Larry, is it raining down there yet?
No, we're doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, it looks like it. Somebody's in for some rough stuff. Anything for the net?
No, sir, we'll let you get on with it before it gets bad. KE4 is sloppy.
Yeah, very good. That's Larry in Rockvale. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Who else is south or east?
JO4 DFA.
Hey, this is John, I think.
You are correct, sir. Got a little bit of a head cold, but yeah, still me.
No COVID this time, huh?
I hope not. But I took a test and it was negative. But I came back from the West Coast and somebody on the plane was sick, so they gave it to me.
Well, we're always looking for somebody to blame, aren't we?
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
Oh, no. I'm just saying that, you know, every time I think I've gotten a cold or everybody I've ever known, I go, I wonder who gave that to me.
Yeah, I don't know, but I have a pretty good idea. There was like 100. I mean, the plane was absolutely full, so all it takes is one in the closed space, and all the people looked pretty disheveled anyways, and I was exhausted, so I was just a prime candidate.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. Do you have any fun out west?
No, it was a business trip, but it was a good business trip.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, even those can be fun.
I mean, we stayed at a nice hotel called the Omni in San Francisco and ate expensive food and drank $20 whiskeys.
Well, it sounds like good business to me.
Yeah. After all the work is done, it's fine. But yeah, I didn't get enough sleep, and so that's what's doing to me.
Well, that's because you spent too much time with the whiskey in the bar.
That's true, but I had my priorities.
Absolutely. Anything else for the net, John? It's good to hear from you.
No, just watching the Doppler radar, and I got the MTers on. Seeing if we got a tornado coming tonight.
Well, let's pray we do not. I've had enough experiences 3 years ago with tornadoes. In fact, it was March. I want to say it was March the 3rd of 2020.
Yeah, I remember it almost hit my house, and that's believe it or not, I think that's about when I got into ham radio, right? Because the tornadoes, I was like, wow, the cell phones are down. I got no way to call anybody. I better get my ham license. Yeah,
absolutely. That was I met you. Yeah, it was just after that, as a matter of fact, just after that tornado went through.
Yeah, it motivates a guy.
Yeah, it usually does. Bad weather events and big power outages, etc. Well, anything else for the net, John? Good to hear from you.
No, that's it. Carry on. We'll talk soon.
You're right. What are you talking about? Your signal is kind of fluttering.
I'm on a Bluetooth thing because there's a thunderstorm. I have to be upstairs in the bedroom with the dog on the bed, and my radio's downstairs, so I've got my Bluetooth remote thing that I'm using, so it's probably the problem.
Okay, no, it's just got these little tiny chops in it, almost like it's cut up, it's not, I can still hear you perfectly. It just almost sounds like something that's manufactured voice,
Yeah, it's a digital artifact, and there's probably, a foot of wall between me and the radio.
I got you. One, as each piece goes through, the other one waits, right?
Something, I don't know. It's just magic.
Very good. Where was it? West, south, or east?
WV4D, Ken here in Smyrna. Man, I don't know what you did to your antenna, but you're 30 over.
I lubed it up.
You on a 700?
No, I'm back on the tri-band Comet, and because I got to go down, I got to tear it down. I got to take it apart and find out why it's doing its nasty, really bad SWR.
Yeah, well, whatever you got now is doing you a good job. Anyway, I'm gonna hold up the net. I'll tell you 73. Thank you for what you do, and good night to everybody. I'm gonna slip over here and fire up a laser. See you guys later. WV4D, clear and listening.
Yeah, don't stare into the laser either. That was Ken, Whiskey Victor 4 Delta. Who else is west or south?
Whiskey 4 India Foxtrot.
Oh, there was 2 in there. I think I heard Whiskey 4 India Foxtrot. Is that correct?
Yeah, Paul, this is Carl, W4IF, East Nashville.
Oh, yeah, very good, Carl. How are you?
I'm good.
Just heard a bunch of static in there. Did you guys hear that, or was that you?
I'm not sure. Trying to work out DMR these days. I actually won a radio on one of the Bridgecom giveaways, and now I'm struggling with figuring out how to use it.
Yeah, you can join the DMR. We have a DMR. It's like a what would you call that? It's a DMR support group. It's for people who are sick of using DM, not sick, but sick because they can't figure out how to make DMR work properly.
No, yeah, understood. It's well, I have a visual problem, and so when I try and open up the programming software, and it's nothing but a gigantic spreadsheet of teeny tiny little numbers, it's a little hard to manage. But they've been very supportive at Bridgecom, and I think I'm going to get it up and running over the next week or so.
Ah, very good. Well, don't forget we do that Simplex DMR net on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I'll give that a try for sure. Anyway, that's about it for now. It's Carl, but before I am.
Yeah, very good, Carl. Good to hear from you. It was Carl in West Nashville, Whiskey 4 India Foxtrot. Another, hopefully a convert of DMR. DMR, everybody, we had a, I don't know if you might not have been around or heard about it, Carl. When I got a DMR radio, I was trying to figure out how to use it. Apparently, I just said, well, I put a notice out to the group. I said, I'm putting up a Zoom meeting for, it was funny to me because I figured out 3 or 4 people, 17 people show up for the DMR meeting on Zoom because none of us knew what the heck we were doing.
Well, I'd definitely join that if you ever have it again, for sure.
Oh, it was fun just to see everybody show up and try to figure out what was going on with that, because it isn't easy when you first look at that screen, especially if you have, you're sight impaired. But I'm not sight impaired, well, not much, but I couldn't make head nor tails of it.
Well, that's reassuring on some weird level. So thank you very much.
Very good. That's Carl, Whiskey 4 India Foxtrot. He's in West Nashville. Good signal and convert maybe to DMR. Who else is west or south?
And on MD6.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. Just standing out here looking at the weather going by.
Are you getting any? Are we getting any rain? You're not that far from me. I'm not even outside. I don't hear it.
We're getting a lot of rain. Had a little bit of thunder and lightning. That's one of my dogs was heard of.
Yeah, we used to have a dog that went into like terrors from lightning and thunder.
I did too, and that's easy these days. So we I know what's going through that flight.
Oh yeah, we even got her one of those jackets that's supposed to give some comfort, but it didn't really help much.
Yeah, we tried those too. It probably works through the commercials with some dogs, but a lot of them, when they break, it takes more than that.
Oh yeah, I had a dog when I was a kid. We had one of those, those clawfoot bathtubs, the old style.
Oh yeah, good so.
So she was a pretty big, not a huge dog, mid-sized dog, weighed about 55, 60 pounds. She managed to get behind that tub. She was so scared.
The one I had, she would go in the corner or go in the closet and start digging on the carpet trying to find her a place to hide. It can be upsetting for some of them.
It is funny though. It really is funny how some dogs are, prone to that and others are not. Because as you know, there's hunting dogs that don't mind those kind of things at all.
Yep, it depends on what they're trained around, like gunfire.
Absolutely. Anything else for the net, Mike?
Nothing to speak of here. Just thought I'd take a break and check in. I don't usually take the time, but I've got more free time these days, so have the radio on, listening to the weather, just checking to see if there's warnings or anything going on in the area, and haven't heard any, so there we go. Back to that, and one MDJ.
Now, just leave your cell phone on for the tornado warnings. That was Michael, November 1, Mike Delta Juliet, and he's here in just east of Providence and south of 40. Who else is west or south? Or east? Nobody east?
Okay, I'm all right, Kitty.
Hey, Stan, everything okay in your sector with the rain?
Yeah, I heard a little bit of thunder earlier. We're talking about the lightning earlier, and I remember one time I was over at a friend of mine's house that used to live over in Hartsville, and they had there was a steel deck all along the south side of the house that went around the west side of the house, and I was out there one day and it came up a storm and lightning hit this night light that they had at the far end of the deck, and I got shocked from the lightning hitting the light on the far end of the deck.
Oh, wow. I'm not surprised, though, because lightning goes almost everywhere when it hits something. You know, it's not like it's limited to one hole, you know.
Now, I remember another time over in Hartsville, when we were over by me and another friend of mine were over by the water plant, and we were going to see if all that worked there, and it came up a storm, and lightning hit probably less than 50 yards from where we were. And, I mean, there was so much static electricity in the air. It made all the hair on my head stand up and all the hair on my arm stand up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a heck of a charge he puts out there with whatever it is. Was it 5 million volts or something like that?
I don't know. It's a lot of voltage.
I know it. You just don't want to get hit by it directly. That's a good. Oof. Anyway, anything else for the Nets, Dan?
No, that's all, Paul. I'm going to hold you up. Back to net. KM4HQ.
Very good. That's Stan. He's in Lebanon. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel, Quebec Echo. Anybody else east?
Yeah. KQ4 AET Mobile.
I had a couple in there, but I heard, I believe it was Chris, Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango.
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
Yeah, you were mobile. Should have come into the mobile time in the beginning.
Well, I wasn't mobile yet.
Very good. What are you doing out in the rain?
Going to pick up my daughter. She's at a friend's house. I'm going to try and grab her before the real strong stuff hits out here.
Yeah, I'll bet. Where is she?
She's out off of 109.
Oh, okay. Okay, going in that direction. Anyway, anything good for the net now that you're mobile?
Nothing good. Sounded like we were telling lightning stories.
Oh, you can if you want to.
Real quick one. Was in Ranger School down in Florida. The Florida-based Ranger School, and the storm was rolling through, so they had us. We were out in the field, all separate ourselves out, stand on top of or crouch down on top of our rucksacks in little groups of like 4 or 5 guys, and a bolt hit somewhere between us and another company, and like the gentleman before me said, you could feel all our hair stood up on the back of our necks and on our arms and everything. You could hear it almost crackling through the water-soaked swampy ground down there. It was crazy.
Wow. Where is that school in Florida?
It's Camp Rudder. It's England Air Force Base.
Oh, it's up there in the Panhandle.
Roger that. Yep. Right around the Yellow River. End up doing boat movements and stuff there. And you row across to Santa Rosa Island to do a mission out there at night sometimes.
Very good. Yeah, there's also a base, but it's an Air Force base. That's different. They're over in Avon Park. I don't know if you've been over there.
Nope, haven't. Yeah, that's my only time on Eglin was the little ranger camp that they have there for the school.
Yeah, that's really just lower Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. Just driving down there with my family. We vacation down in that area numerous times, and yeah, driving down there is entertaining.
Well, the best beaches in Florida are up there in the Panhandle, Destin, that kind of area.
Yeah, Destin's gorgeous. There's a nice Fort Benning has a morale, welfare, and recreation facility in Destin, believe it or not.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Things sure have changed. I got out of the Navy in '72, and I can't remember. The best thing we had was the Red Cross centers, or that kind of stuff. There wasn't many benefits outside of the military. I mean, like recovery centers or that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the other stuff.
Yo, definitely. Yeah, they definitely made big improvements. That facility down there that in Destin it's really nice. It's only a mile and a half or so from the beach tops, and really nice hotel. It is on the bay side, so you can launch kayaks into the water and paddle around the bay from there. It's really nice.
Oh wow, yeah, that's sweet that they've done things like that. It used to be the Navy League used to do some things, and who was it? The Red Cross. Who was the other group? Oh yeah, the civilian group. What is that called? Can't think of the name. The one that Bob Hope was associated with.
Oh right, yeah, it's tripping me up now too. Somebody jump and tell us which one we're talking about.
Whatever one it was, we used to get. I never got upset by it, but whenever the Bob Hope USO, that's what it is, the U.S. United Service Organization. They always went to, like in Vietnam, they always went to the big bases because that's where they could, get the most crowd. Obviously, they're not looking at them. It's not like they're looking for ratings, but like, a little ship like ours, we couldn't even get a magician, let alone a cameraman on our ship.
Yeah, you got me laughing on the magician part. That was good. When I was in Iraq, we had Charlie Daniels came out and visited, and my platoon we were out on a mission and we're headed back. He heard we were headed back. He was visiting our company. He didn't want to miss it, so he hung around like an extra 15, 20 minutes. Met us on the front porch basically when we pulled up to the company. It was crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, there's a lot of entertainers that they're doing they're not out there for the attention, really. They're just out there because they appreciate the service people.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels is definitely one of those.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think any of them are really looking for because oftentimes people in Hollywood who associate with military, or I'll just call them conservative type values, they get a bad the bad name about them, a bad aura about them from the Hollywood crowd.
Yep, you can see it. They got to kind of keep it in their back pocket a little bit.
Yeah, I know, it's funny. Anyway, that was Chris, Kilo, Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango. Anybody else east?
KI4SIB, KI4SO, Argentine, Paul.
Hello, are you in a hurry?
No, I just threw it out there.
Well, you threw it out there. How you doing, Richard?
I'm good. Tired of the digging, going to go to bed early tonight, but other than that, I'm good. You know anybody going to Cave City this weekend?
Philip.
Yeah, I need to talk to him. All right, I won't hold you. I'm hoping that I can get a hold of him and catch a ride or something like that. I don't know. Talk to you later. Have a good rest of the week. 7-3. Everybody can hear my voice. Talk to you when I can. KI4SIB out the way. Thank you, sir. Very
good. That was Richard and his bride, Stephanie. And that's KI4SIB and KI4SOR. Who else is east? Anybody else who's not unplugged your antenna in the radio, please come in from the east. I guess Philip did that. Real men don't unplug your antennas. Who else? Real men with money don't unplug their antennas. Who else is east? Or north?
KE4TW.
Hey, how you doing there, Wes? There's the man with money bags.
Yeah, I'm actually mobile. I'm sitting still. I just pulled up here in the front of the store. Yes, I unplugged my antennas. As soon as I walked out, I heard the crash. And they're done that.
Yeah, it's well, again, one major hit will change anybody's opinion about lightning.
Yep, everything's good here. And hoping to look for some weather that'll get me out of school. I don't think it's going to be snow, though. All right, I'll catch you later. KE4 did.
Yeah, very good. That's Wes. Where are you mobile, by the way?
I'm in Lebanon, West Main, not far from Richard.
That's with your new Diamond 96-inch antenna?
2 5/8 wave stacks. KE4 did.
I'm telling you, killer signal. Really sounds good. Sounds like it sounds like you're home, and it sounds like you're at a permanent antenna over in Lebanon. Anyway, that was Wes, mobile, KE4TWI. He's got that. You can look it up. It's a single band 2 meter 2 5/8 wave stacked antenna. It's really a good antenna. It's for mobile use, obviously, and it's just tall, a 96-inch tall antenna. It's certainly not. You're not going to mount it on the top of your vehicle. But I had mounted on the trunk, but it's a tree trimmer is the problem. It's tall. It'll hit low line branches. Who else is east or north? Hey, how you doing? I know you carry around one on your HT, a 96-incher.
No, not quite. I had a 31 one, but it's an eye poker.
Oh yeah, well. Yeah, well, antennas on HTs are a pain. I had one strapped to my hip one day, and I walked outside in my house. I don't remember where I was going, but I happened to take my HT with me. I don't remember what I had in my hand or I had it on my hip. I don't remember. And it hit the antenna just right on a pilaster, I'll call it. This concrete post in my carport. Ripped the antenna right off the top of the radio along with the connector.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not good at all. No, no, no. No, no, but I know about the. I had one of them 2-meter. You know, I had a collinear a long time ago on the center of my roof. Now the car was low, one of them little 4-cylinder cars back in the day. And I had it on there, and everybody asked me, "Yeah, it's funny you drive a remote control car."
It was right in the middle of the car itself.
Yeah, I had it on a triple magma.
Oh yeah, well, I had one of those triple magna, and those things are. You got to be a real man to pull that thing off.
Yeah, and you got to have a junky car that you don't care about, because good luck trying to get that on or off without scratching the paint.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was one of the problems. I sold mine because I didn't really need it, and I just used a regular mount on the vehicle, which is really the right way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yep, I did that because I was thinking, oh, this is going to be better. No, it's not. But yeah, you know, you live and learn.
Oh yeah, that's right. No big deal. You know, I sold it for, I don't know. I didn't make any money on it. That's for sure. Anyway, anything else for the net, Frank?
No, oh man, I was going to say something. You guys were talking about. Oh, you said lightning stories. That's right. I hate talking about it in a way, because there's, you know, when there's a storm coming. But yeah, I definitely have had some. You know, I got hit. The car got hit while I was driving down the road, and it fried the car stereo and the computer. It was a brand new car, 1992 Mustang, and just got it. Had it a week, and driving it, got hit by lightning.
Wow, did insurance cover it?
Yeah, they did, as an act of God.
Well, so was rain. Slick roads.
Yeah, they just thought it was so bizarre. I didn't even have rental. And they said, look, if you just add it right now, we'll just give you a rental car. I said, okay. And then the rental car had to bring it back because the dash shorted out. So they're like, are you sure the lightning's not still in you?
Yeah, and so tell me, did they just replace the computer in the car and the stereo and then the other thing that looked fried?
Yeah, they had to replace the CPU, the power control module. It was a stick shift, so they didn't have anything for the transmission. So they had to replace the engine computer. They had to replace the head unit on the car stereo. The receiver fried. The CD player was still working, believe it or not. And no, didn't feel a thing. It was loud. It kind of, I think that, you know, boom kind of scared me and made me, like, you know, jump into the other lane. But you know, other than that, but what happened that they didn't know about was I drove it 65 miles with the computer messed up, and it got so much fuel in the catalytic converters that it plugged them up. And about a month later, I had to replace those.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Those kind of problems I don't need. You're right though. That I've never seen. I don't know. You're the first person I think I met who actually had their car hit by lightning. But that's got to be. You didn't feel anything?
No, I didn't feel anything. I mean, it was just so quick. It was just, all I saw was a blue flash. Like I said, I was in the right-hand lane. I ended up in the left-hand lane. But I think that was just me freaking out. And yeah, and then next thing you know, my car radio went out, and the engine's running really bad. I mean, it would rev and die, rev and go back to idle, rev and go back to idle. By the time I got back home and I checked my oil, because I could smell the fuel, there was a bunch of extra in there. It was like way overfilled because it was basically fuel. And luckily, it didn't hurt the engine. Luckily.
Yeah, my big lightning experience was because there's a lot of it in Florida, as you know, and I had more than one experience with it, but none of them catastrophic. I had a lightning hit close to the house, and of course the first thing I did is look see if there's any damage, because it was really close to the house. And what do you know? I went to use the cassette deck, and it was a twin cassette deck on this. I think which radio was it. It took out one of the cassette decks. As you can imagine, it gets very selective.
Yeah, I must have not liked what you had in there. Jeez, that's crazy. I mean, I've heard of it taken out like the TV and not something else. But yeah, it is crazy because it doesn't even have to be a direct hit. It just has to be near, and it'll take out especially the old TVs used to take them out. And I'm sure the new ones are probably weaker in some ways.
but I've seen that happen. But yeah, Tampa is like, that area is like capital of the world for lightning.
Yeah, it is. It's awful. You get used to it, but it's still not fun. I mean, when you consider in cars or in car computer stuff and radios and in small radios like a table, like the radio deck that I had, the wire sizes inside those devices is down to like 22 or 24 gauge, and they're so small, and those little motors and stuff. So obviously, high amperage or instantaneous high amperage will take out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, and it's actually similar to an EMP pulse. EM pulse kind of, just a miniature one compared to, what a device would do. But yeah, it takes it out just that way. But yeah, no, I had that. That was the craziest thing. But I've had, other close calls. It's hit my computer terminal at work and blew it up, but didn't blow anybody else's up. My antenna, back, oh man, it was like 1980 something, got hit. But I didn't actually see it. I just kind of ran out of there. When I came back out, hey, why does it look like a split banana?
Yeah, wow, that's right. I've seen it hit antennas up on a roof of a hospital. But regular. I think one of them was one of those trams, or no, it's one of the other 10-meter antennas. That's what it was. It was a 10-meter vertical, and it just turned it into smithereens, as they used to say.
Yeah, and it's weird. And I don't think it was a direct hit or anything, because my mom was home. She said she didn't hear anything out of the ordinary other than just a storm. But it's just weird how that thing. It's weird how it hits one thing and not the other thing. But let's hope nobody on the net gets any damage. I mean, I don't think today is supposed to be the bad day for this area. I think it's Friday more. But hopefully there's no bad area. Okay, so back over to you, Gaming Anarchy.
Very good. That's Frank. Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo in here in northwest Mount Juliet. Yeah, you're the first one I've met who actually got hit in the car. I've seen cars hit in TV, on TV, on like a YouTube, real cars getting hit going down the road. But man, that's got to be scary. Anyway, yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have cleaning. Did they pay for the cleaning of your seat?
Believe it or not, I didn't have any extras with that, but yeah, but I'm sure they would have.
Man, I think that's what happened to most people. Anyway, that's Frank, Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo. Who else is well, actually north. Actually, we're going east and north right now.
Hey, for BWA.
Had a double in there, but Rick, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Yeah, man, I was just listening to Frank's story, and I was sitting there listening, and it's direct hits. I always figured that the wheels being rubber kind of protected the cars from direct hits. Now, I don't know. I'm like you. I've seen videos where it shows cars got hit direct hits, but maybe it hit the ground near him and bounced up or something. But I always thought that lightning had to go to ground or go from ground up. I don't know, but maybe like I said, I've seen videos that look like they've been direct hits on cars.
Well, keep in mind, and again, I'm not going to pretend to even be close to an expert on, even an amateur expert on this, but keep in mind that most wheels are steel belted and they're wrapped around steel rims and they're connected to the axles. And so it wouldn't take much for 5 million volts, or I think it's even higher than that in some cases, to go hit that car and try. It's just getting to ground, because number one, you're in wet weather to begin with, and it just hits it. I don't think it's necessarily a surefire target. I think it's just it hits, because lightning, more or less, at least from our point of view, is random, but it's hitting at its lowest, at the best differential is what it's looking for. It's just it's trying to equalize that difference between upstairs and downstairs. But anyway, no, I don't think I know what you're saying exactly. I used to think that too, but realizing, like I said, steel wheels, steel belted radials, and a steel car, well, aluminum anyway. It's not too far fetched to have that happen.
Yeah, Roger that. Especially now, they're using less rubber. It's like they're riding on rims. But no, I don't want to take too much time. I just wanted to give you a check-in and holler at y'all. And I was listening to his comment on that lightning, man. It the only one that got hit. Or, yeah, I'd be watching out. Maybe walk around some kind of something that would deionize or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I would be worried about being out in a lightning storm if I was Frank.
Well, again, if you've ever seen the pictures on any of the places, any of the people who have shown lightning experiences with radios and antennas, you can have the best grounding system. You can have the best, and you have the best lightning protectors that are available in ham radio operators, and it will still damage equipment because lightning is so powerful. It'll take things out that you can't imagine it would take out. I mean, it'll just fry. Not just little things either. It takes out big things, as you know. There's no real protection against a direct hit in lightning. I mean, that's why I haven't done it, but I kind of toyed with the idea of buying that insurance through ARRL, which costs like $100 a year or something.
Richard.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he's right. I don't think it was a direct hit. I think it hit the ground next to me on the interstate, but it was close enough that it felt like somebody threw like an M80 or some kind of explosive, or it was almost like a grenade simulator. If you've ever heard one of those in the military, that's how loud it was, and that's why it spooked me, and I flung into the other lane. The sound was like the thing that got me even more than the flash. Okay, it was loud, and even in the rain and going at 70 miles an hour. But I was in the middle of farms. It was actually called Farmville, Illinois. That's literally the name of the town. And yeah, we were trying to go to St. Louis for. Actually, I was going there for a baseball game and didn't make it. So had to turn around and go back. But yeah, so that's what I think happened. I don't think it was a direct hit at all, and that was a long time ago. It was 1992. So I haven't had big experiences since then. But that year, I had so many near misses with lightning. I thought, man, I'm not going outside ever again.
Oh, I'll bet. Now that's scary. It really is. Anyway, I think you're probably right, Ricky. I'm sure that there are lots of occasions where it's not a direct hit, but like I said, I've seen them on TV. It sure looks. I mean, on YouTube, it looks like a direct hit to me.
Yeah. I've seen some that looks like direct hits too. But those could be the newer rims that got them like 1-inch tires on the ground. And again, it could be bouncing and jumping ground is what we used to call it when we were working in electrical boxes. You can get ground to jump if you get it too close. Anyway, hey, great net, 73 to everybody out there, and God bless y'all. This is K4 BWA. Going back to you, Paul.
Yeah, very good. That's Ricky. He's does the Sumner County Simplex night on Thursday nights, and that's at I forget what time that is. 7:30.
No, we moved it to 7.
Oh, that's right. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 147-555. Right.
Yeah, Roger.
Okay, very good. Just making sure. 147-555 Simplex. Ricky does a nice net up there from Portland, and anybody in at least far out from my neck of the woods, I can hear them just fine. I think most of the people in Wilson County and Davidson County can pretty much hear them. Anyway, check in if you would. So 7 o'clock Thursday nights, Ricky, and it's called a Kilo 4 Bravo Whiskey Alpha. And by the way, he also, I didn't realize this until he told me the other day, that he also simulcasts his on Facebook. Is that are you doing that on what's called FaceTime? Because I don't have Facebook.
No, I do it on live, just Facebook Live, and you can get there. Just go to Middle Tennessee Simplex 147-555. And all you got to do is hit join. You're in.
Yeah, I think you have to be on Facebook to do that, don't you?
Yeah, that's the one flaw.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook in, I don't know, 10 years maybe. I'm not sure how long. It's been a long time. Found I had other places I could waste my time. Anyway, no, I'm sure that sounds great though. You could do it because even if if you don't have enough in YouTube, the dilemma is you can only do certain length videos until you have so many subscribers, and so it really limits what a person can do on YouTube. Anyway, that was Ricky K4BWA. Who else is East or North?
You know
Hey, Brent, is anything good going on?
I'm trying to stay away from the lightning as soon as I'm done talking. I think I'm just gonna unhook stuff because it's kind of flashy over here.
Yeah, well, can't be scared.
Not really, but I've had an antenna turned into a molten. Mine didn't blow apart. It just turned it into some molten.
Oh, I know. My wife has a habit. She started, well, she had it before I met her, obviously. But she has always wanted to unplug appliances, like a toaster. She'll unplug it, make sure it's not plugged in. Hair dryer can't stay plugged in. You know, other things can't stay plugged in. And I go, why? She goes, because I'm afraid that, problems with lightning. I said, well, I don't see you unplugging the oven or the range.
Well, Richard can attest to this too. I've seen him toast and it go right through the whole electrical.
Oh, absolutely. No, believe me, I've got experience in Florida. All kinds of crazy electrical problems due to lightning, direct hits.
Yeah, I definitely don't miss the houses up north because there's those balloon structures and that wires get on fire inside those structures. You pull up to the scene thinking you had something in the attic and it would be down in the basement.
Oh, wow. Anyway, anything else good for the net, Brent?
No. You guys have a good night. 73, and I'm going to jump off here and unhook.
All right, keep your powder dry. That was Kilo. Is it Kilo Bravo?
Kilo Echo.
Okay, see, I looked at it and I had my sloppy printing at the moment it looked like a B because I was making it too tiny. Anyway, that's Kilo Echo for Romeo Victor Quebec, and that's Brent, and he's in Northwest Wilson. Who else is any place? Any place, anywhere? Please come in.
KQ4 DWB.
KQ4 DWV. So I forget your first name.
David, I'm down here on the river by Henderson.
Oh, very good. I forgot about that. Apologize for my memory's not as good as it used to be, and my memory's not as good as it used to be.
Right.
Anyway, how goes it up in Henderson?
It seems to have slowed down on the rain here. I was just wondering how I found it tonight versus a few other times I thought.
Well, there's a little bit of hash in there, but that's pretty normal in these kind of weather conditions. But you sound good.
That's good. There we go. I'm not very far from you, so but I do think I have a couple of hills just southeast of me that probably interferes with our connection.
Well, you're doing about S5 here, so you're not doing too shabby at all.
And I also turned up my gain just a little bit on this radio since the last time I talked.
Oh yeah, no, you're doing fine, really, to me, because I know you're not in an ideal location.
That's it. But I think I've got things a little better than I had them before.
Ah, very good. Well, when I say we deal with what we get, as soon as I realized, and it took me a little while to realize where I moved, and I've been in ham radio before that, and all of a sudden I realized where my elevation was, and I said, I really should be doing a Simplex net from this elevation, because I really can get out in all directions, 35 to 45 miles.
And we appreciate that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that you appreciate that. I presume that there's people out there listening, and I'm glad if they're getting anything out of it, it's from all the people checking in. It's not necessarily from me. Anyways, people who, like I said, at the front end of the broadcast, it's not even a broadcast, the front end of the net, that it's the people who are checking in that provide the service, so people can hear what they can't hear. I'll put it that way, and then they can try to figure out if they can do any better. And sometimes it's tough. I mean, if you're in a low elevation, I don't think they're going to let you put in a 300-foot tower.
Yeah, Roger. I think you're really doing the service, though. You handle everybody and run them. That takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess it does. I'm used to it. I was used to dealing with a lot of people when I was in business. I was in sales and project management, and so I'm used to talking to people. And I'm also, I think it's just my nature. I had somebody tell me, down in Murfreesboro, tell me, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but he says, you know what I like about you? And I was afraid of the answer. And he said, you'll talk to anybody. I go, well, that's kind of, if you have a net, you have to.
That's it right there.
And we all appreciate it, Paul. I'm going to get off here. I'll be clear. KQ4, DWZ. Have a good night, Paul.
Very good. That's David in Hendersonville. Kilo, Quebec 4, Delta, excuse me, Delta Whiskey Victor. Who else is any place, including North? Anybody, any place? I got all night. I can sit here with just listening. Did we run out of people who have their antennas connected?
I'm here. WD0NOO.
Hold on, Mark. I think I heard, is it Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Echo Hotel? Oh, Kevin. Kevin, did you check in before? That call looks odd to me for some reason. Ah, very good. You're in. You seem to have a very low signal. You must be in you have what kind of antenna do you have up at your location? Okay, well, that's a nice antenna. Diamond, all of those commercial antennas, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to brag about Diamond. I have a Diamond and a Comet, and both are equally good for what they're sold as. But that X30, well, how high up is that antenna, Kevin? I'm sorry. How? What's the elevation? I mean, what kind of elevation do you have there in Bethpage? And how high is your antenna off the ground? Yeah, you're not doing too shabby. I mean, I can hear you. It's just not a big, robust signal. I'll have to look again. I wasn't looking at the screen, but I mean, I can hear you just fine. It just seems lower than I would suspect it would be. So let me ask, Mark, how are you copying Kevin?
Well, I'm not copying them at all, but I'm on an attic antenna right now.
Oh man, aren't you the guy that said you like to build a nice station? Wasn't that I heard about you?
Yeah, I like to keep it. Isn't it flashing over there?
Yeah, I ain't scared. I'm just. It's the only way I get to spend money on stuff when it blows up.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I don't have anything with the net. I just barely got in here.
All right, very good. That was Mark. He's in Northwest Wilson. But Kevin, I want to finish with you. Yeah, no, you're doing fine, and good to hear you on the air. Don't hesitate to come in here. We're on both Wednesdays and Saturday nights.
All right, I've got it written down. Raining pretty good here right now. I just got the radio.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're glad to have you here. We've been doing it here this is in September, we'll be finishing 9 years, twice a week, but we also do, I look at the front page of the website because I hate to repeat them all, but we do 3 digital nets a week. We do 220 nets a week. We do 2, 3, and sometimes 4 FM nets a week. Just a lot of stuff. We do more than most clubs do. We do more in a week than most clubs do in 2 months. Very good, Kevin. That was Kevin. He's in Bethpage. It's Kilo Quebec 4, Foxtrot, Echo, Golf. And good to have you in there, Kevin. Good to hear from you. Who else? Any place, anywhere? Any place, anywhere. All right, we may be wrapped up here. That would be one last chance, though. That's 26. Hold on. Yeah, it's 22, and it's 40 if you count the people who unplug their antennas. Is there anybody else out there before we jump over to where are we jumping to? Oh, we're jumping over to 10 meters. Anybody else out there?
Well, I guess you didn't call them an antagonist.
Yeah, I couldn't copy that station, but we're looking for lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers.
There you go.
Yeah, very good, Scott. How's it going down there? Is the weather hitting you hard?
No, it's very wet right now. I just looked on the outside camera, see if I was going to let this dog go out, but I don't think I'm going to let him out. Shit.
So I like it. See, I got 5 dogs, and weather gets like this, I open up the door and say, "Let's go!" And they put on their couple of them just slam the brakes on before they hit the door. Nah, I'm not going.
That's what this one does. She'll stop at the door going out onto the deck and look and say, I'll think about it some more.
Actually, they're kind of funny. They run out there, and most of them do their business. A couple of them they'll take a whiz on the back steps, and then they sit on the steps underneath the overhang, trying to avoid the weather.
Yep, they do unusual things. Okay, they were going to 10 meter. Tell you what, I don't even think I'm going to try that.
Well, I don't know. I can usually hear you way back in the hinterlands.
We'll give it a shot. I don't have the gap hooked up. I need to put that other one together. I got a Challenger that does supposedly 82 meter, but I haven't put that one up yet.
I have a hard time. I know of the antenna, but I have a hard time imagining that giant antenna has a 2-meter antenna on it that's better than, let's just say, a 5/8 vertical. I really don't know what it has, but it just seems like it'd be hard to make a 2-meter antenna work in such a big antenna.
Well, this GAP 40, I put the analyzer on it, and it's spot on 2 meter.
Oh, very good. Does it say what the gain on the 2-meter side is?
No, it's not supposed to do 2 meter. This one.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I did that years ago. I decided I had a G5 RV, and I said, hey, what if I hooked that up to my 2-meter? And I did. The SWR was fine. I didn't have to do anything. And I mean, it wasn't. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't dangerous. It was within tolerances. And but it doesn't get out very good, and it didn't receive all that well, in spite of the fact it was a big G5 RV, a full length.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I'll try that 10 with this 40 loop, but it tunes it, so it ought to work. K1 S3.
Very good. That's Scott. He's in Laverne. Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta, the reluctant 10-meter transmitter. Anybody else out there? Lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, end-time survivalists, lightning avoiders, scared people who are only listening. All right. We had 23 in there, including the lollygagger, Scott. We're going to move right over to 28415, and then after that, we're going to, oh yeah, 223-415. That's where we're going. That's where I'm going to be. So we'll see you there, K4PW. This is K4PW Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net 28.415, and we're looking for check-ins from the west. Please come in.
Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor, Jack and Donaldson.
All right, very good, Jack. Yeah, okay, Richard, if you can still hear me, you're in there, you and Stephanie. That was Richard, and also we just got Jack in there who we could actually hear. That was Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. You couldn't hear Jack, could you?
Sorry, Richard, I couldn't hear you.
Very good. It sounded like he was way off in the distance, what he sounded like. Thanks, Jack. That was Kilo Golf 4, India. No. Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor, Jack and Donaldson. Who else is west?
KM4, YRF.
Very good. You sound good, Michael. That was KM4 YRF. Michael in just west of the airport. Who else is, that would be BNA airport. Who else is west? Oh, you're in the lightning round. Very good. That was Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo in Antioch. That was great. Who else is west? Anybody else to hear something I can't? I'm hearing voices again. Who else is west or south? West or south? West or south? Oh yeah, I got you in there fine there, Scott. Oh, that's all right. No big deal. We'll get that other antenna up. You'll hear everybody. That was Scott, Kilo 1, Sierra Papa Delta in Laverne. Who else is south? Nobody south or east? South or east? South or east or north? Is this on? Got nobody south, east, or north? Wow, nobody's here tonight. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Sure we don't have anybody else on 10 meters tonight? Please come now. Yeah, I got you in there, Richard. All right, very good. I heard you earlier, but I guess you didn't hear me. That was Richard, KI4SIB in Lebanon. Who else? Anybody else out there? Nothing? Wow, 7. Grand total is 7. Anybody else? Last chance. All righty, we're going to wrap it up. There was 7 people on 10 meters. We're going to move over to 223, 415. So I'll catch you over there, K4PW. This is Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey, my Juliet Simplex Radio. Now looking for check-ins on 223, 415. Please come down. Ah, very good. I got you in there, Jack. Kilo India 4. I'll get it straight in a second. Kilo Golf 4. India Lima Victor. I get all in a rush here because I had to change the antenna wires to the radio. Anyway, who else besides Jack is in there? Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. Ah, very good. 2 in there. I heard Greg. Kilo Delta 4. Charlie Victor Echo, and I heard Kilo 1, Sierra Papa Delta. Your signal's pretty good there, Scott. Yeah, you're doing great. You're good. And of course, Greg, you can copy Scott, okay?
Yeah, you can about copy Scott there. You're a bar or 2 less than usual.
Well, it shouldn't be too much lower. I mean, I'm using the same antenna I always do. Well, I'm sure it is. We've run into those problems before. Who else is any place, anywhere? Please come in. I hear somebody in there. I can't tell who it is. Jack, are you copying anything? Because I know he was all set to go today. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's, well, I don't know. I can't imagine what would be wrong. I mean, he should know what he's doing. Does he only have 25 watts? Yeah, Roger. Well, that could be part of the problem for me, but you should be able to hear him good. I can hear somebody in there, but I don't think it's Michael.
Stop the rubber tires protecting in your car against the vacuum seat. So that when cars travels around the skin of the vehicle.
Yeah, I think you're right. Is that Richard I heard in there? Richard, are you still there? I feel like I'm in a poltergeist movie, and I hear this voice coming through the TV, and it sounds like Richard, and I think it is.
It was Richard, KB9RTK.
Ah, very good. I could just tell by the inflections in those tiny bits that I could hear.
Signals are not good today.
Well, yours is great.
Well, yeah, I think we're really close, though. Yeah, it's not as good as it can be. I don't know, the weather must be affecting it.
Well, it is interesting. Normally, well, again, with only 25 watts, he may be in a bad place over there at the airport. That's not even a great elevation, but that's where Michael is, just west of the airport. And with Jack, you heard him earlier, full scale.
I just sent him a text. They were just telling him if we were looking for him on 220. Yeah, I can hear you, Richard. Yeah, Greg, I got you full scale. Yeah, I'm not making out every word you're saying. It's not as normal as good as I can normally hear you, Richard. KB9RTK.
He sounds desperate, doesn't he? All right, very good. Well, we had Richard in there, and that's the first. I know I've heard him breaking squelch before, but I couldn't tell it was him. I just knew it was him because he told me later. Anyway, well, it was a big night here. We're missing a few people, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If somebody who can hear me and we're not hearing them, let me know. If it's like Charles out in West Nashville or whoever else has 220. And Michael, if you can hear me, make sure to let us know because I can't believe we can't hear you or Jack can't hear you. Anything else for the net, anybody? Good to have you in there, Frank, as well as Richard, and it's good to hear Scott, K1SPD, Greg, Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo, and Jack, Kilo Delta 4, Indy Lima Victor, and myself. It's not good to hear myself, K4 PEW. Have a good night, everybody.